Hey, Jamie Tenhouse here, currently in Prague, and today I want to talk about how to turn your team into an effortless production line of work and efficiency. So I get asked a lot about this question about how to handle a team, or how even to grow a team. And I've had a lot of projects over the years. I've had a clothing company, I've had a design agency, I've had a training company which teaches entrepreneurs how to generate customers online, and now I'm currently working on a new agency. And the growth has been pretty good, and I've been asked about how I'm able to grow the team so quickly. And I kind of want to share a few insights that I've accumulated over the years about how to turn your team into an effortless working machine or a very well optimized production line. Because if you're in business, you ultimately want to have a production line that just produces an outcome again and again, and that literally brings you income as you sleep. So I'm going to share a few key points about that today. The first point that comes to mind that might shock everyone is that I don't have training programs for any of my companies or for anything that I've created in the past. I don't believe in training programs. I believe in very strict, very clear processes and systems. So whenever I hire someone new or whenever I create a new role, I don't want to allow them any creative freedom. As bad as that sounds, I want to simply create a process that anyone can come in and fill that role quite quickly. The reason for that is that I want to create an effortless production line of work and outcomes that my clients can depend on and that I can depend on as well. So the way that I approach that is whenever I create a new role or whenever there's a new piece of work to be done, I want to always look at it and go, okay, well, what does the end result look like? And then I create the process from that. It's pretty simple, but something that I see a lot of entrepreneurs get caught up on, and the best way that I handle it is I outline the process in text format. I outline it with a screencast or a how-to video as well that I had to film once, and then I use screenshots or images to show what the end product or the end result of that task should look like. That way there's no questions, there's no misunderstandings or miscommunications about, well, I didn't think it was supposed to look this way, or I didn't think it was supposed to work that way, right? So what you wanted to do is you want to provide your team with a very clear image or a very clear outcome of what the task should look like at the end of it. And the other thing to keep in mind as well is that each person in your team should only be doing one task or one role. You want them to operate like a production line where each task gets handed to the next person, then to the next person, then to the next person. Sure, you could get one person to do everything, but that's a lot of processes for them to be really good at and to be optimized at. So I always like to hire more than rather give one person a lot of work and only have that one person produce that one outcome, then the next outcome, then the next outcome for the next person after that. And by using images, screenshots, or just showing them, hey, this is what the task should look like at the end, this is what should happen, here's a video on how it should look and work, here's a screenshot on how it should look and work, and just to show them, like, if you can just show someone the before and after and go connect the lines to create that after, then they're more than likely to create the outcome that you want them to achieve. So use images, show them what it should look like at the end, and just have very clear processes that do not allow for any questions or any creative freedom to occur within your team. Now, I know that sounds really brutal and really harsh, but it just depends on what kind of company you want to create. If you want to create a production line of effortless work, then it needs to be treated like a production line, like a clearly defined outcome for every process within your company. So that's how I look at it. I don't have training programs for my team. I have just very clearly defined processes that I've created over time, whereby anyone can hop into that role and genuinely know how to achieve the outcome. Within a few hours, they should be a professional at it. So that's the first thing you want to integrate into your team if you want an effortless working machine. The other thing that has really helped me out to get ahead in terms of hiring and to really grow my team quickly has been that whatever role I've hired for, I've learned. So I was fortunate enough as a young entrepreneur to know how to do graphic design, video editing, web design, copywriting, all of that. I'm a one-man agency, and that's why my clients come to me, because I can do it all under the one person, right? So I can do everything that I need my team to do. And what I cannot stress enough is that whatever role you're hiring for, at least go and learn that skill at a beginner level for yourself. The reason for that is that it's going to allow you to communicate easier with your staff. You'll be able to talk the lingo, the language. You'll be able to check if what they're actually trying to execute should be taking that long, or are they taking too Or are they taking too long, or are they doing it at the right speed you need them to? So in learning the actual skill, in learning what you want to hire for, you're able to not only communicate easier with your team, but you're able to judge their effectiveness too, right? So whenever I hire, it allows me to communicate the task easier because I have been doing it for years, and it also allows me to see if they're any good. Like, are they able to problem solve at the pace I need them to? Can they understand the process? Are they able to produce it again and again and again? So whatever role you are trying to hire for, if you've been having a hard time or you've been having too many miscommunications with your team and too many internal problems, then maybe you should learn how to at least talk the language, or at least learn the task, so you can outsource or give it to your team at a much more higher level. And I'll just emphasize this point again because I think it's really important and really change the way that I hire and create processes as well. And if you're doing any online work, or if you're doing anything online, if it be creating a website or graphics or any editing like that, the most important thing that you can provide your team is screenshots and images of how it should look. Even if you don't have a process, at least show them the end outcome of what it should look like. That way, there's no question as to, well, I didn't think you wanted it to look like this, or there's no miscommunications. The best thing you can provide a team or someone on your team is an image of what the outcome should look like at the end. And there's a really good program called Jing, J-I-N-G, that I've been using for years. It's a free program, and it allows you to just take really good screenshots, and it allows you to add notes to these screenshots, highlight things, add text boxes as well. And I'll show you guys how I outsource tasks, or how I create processes quickly over the top of this clip now. And Genius has helped me to make that process a lot easier. So whenever you are outsourcing, ensure you do provide the end outcome, a clearly defined image for the team person to actually look at and go, yes, okay, that's what he wants me to produce, not a problem. Or ignore creating training programs and don't get so concerned on culture unless you're hiring for the front end of your company, so your sales people or your customer service people. But anyone behind the scenes on your production line, don't get overly concerned about having a training program. Rather, create very clearly defined processes in all three formats: text, video, and screenshots, so that there are no questions about it. And then obviously open up the floor for questions as well. So say, hey guys, here's a clearly defined process. Just follow these 21 or 31 steps. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Or if I can help out in any way, let me know as well. And usually, you might come up with a few questions which you then add into the processes for next time. But generally, if you can provide text, video, and screenshots, and they can see their before and after and what each process should look like through the tasks and through the changes, then there shouldn't be any questions or there shouldn't be any problems when you go to outsource work or when you give work over to your team. So that's how I like to grow my team. That's how I like to turn my team into an effortless working, result producing machine or production line. Take it on board, see how you go, but the most important thing is just to ensure that you use visual cues and use clearly defined processes within your company.